Right, hello everyone, and welcome to Warren's Team Talk. Hope you're all well today and having a great time. And hope you're ready and waiting for my show. Sure, it's going to be an absolute wonderful event. I'm sure it will be. And yeah, we're just about to get started. And Del Boy Gunner TV is in the chat. He says, "Big up, Warren Powell." Nice to see you, Del Boy. I hope that you're well, mate, and having a great day. I don't know, my fucking head's all over the place after that news this morning about what's going on in Ukraine. I just find it unbelievable. But anyway, enough of that, and let's get on with the show. Yeah, anyone who hasn't done it already, please make sure you go and check out Del Boy Gunners TV's channel. It's absolutely superb. I just love his patter. It's superb stuff. It really is. He's got an excellent channel. He gets lots of really cool people on it and whatnot. So yeah, go and check him out. The link for his channel is in the video description. So all you got to do is just click on the links, nice and easy, and yeah, it'll take you straight there. So go and do that. You won't regret it. I'm telling you. He's got this series that he does called Feckin' Egypts, and that is just comedy gold. Absolute superb stuff. Yeah, so it's absolute gold. Not to be missed. Absolutely. Anyway, so what we're doing today, we're going to review match day 27 of the Premier League. So we'll look at all the fixtures, look at the team's current form, where they are in the league, and have a look and see what I think might happen in the game. So without further ado, let's get on with it. The petition is still there. Anyone who wants to sign it, all you got to do is click on the link, and like Del Boy Gunners TV as channel and a few other channels, which I'll tell you about later. The link for this is in the description, so go and check that out and get that thing signed, and let's put some pressure on the club, because I don't know about anyone else, but I just think this is a major mistake. A major mistake. Anyway, so the league table, as of this morning, Manchester City are sitting top there now, only 3 points behind Liverpool, who have played the same amount of games. A few weeks ago, it was 9 points, but it's now down to 3. And they've still got to play each other at the Etihad Stadium, so that is going to be an absolutely humongous game. It really is. Chelsea are in third, 13 points behind the leaders, and but with a game in hand, you'd have to say at this stage, unless something miraculous happens, that Chelsea probably are out of the title race. But you never know. It's still 13 games to go. That's 39 points. Anything could happen. So Manchester United are in fourth. They had a good draw last night away at Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. Their manager, Diego Simeone, I'd love to have him at Arsenal. I really would. I absolutely love the guy. The stories I heard Kieran Trippier telling on Radio 5 last night about how he used to ring him up at 11 o'clock in the evening and start chatting about football, and like trying to have a discussion with him when he was trying to go to sleep about where the team could improve and what they needed to do and stuff like that. And he was saying he is incredibly emotional and intense. And I can well believe it. I really can. So, yes. And I have to be honest, I would love it. I would absolutely love it if he was Arsenal's manager. And because I tell you something, we wouldn't be sitting bloody sixth in the table like we are now if he was our manager. We would be third at least, and challenging for a title. So yeah, Manchester United, like I say, they're sitting fourth. Played 26 games with 46 points. West Ham are in fifth. Played 26 with 42 points. Arsenal are in sixth. Played 23. So they've got a couple of games in hand on Manchester United and West Ham. If they win those games in hand, and that's a massive if, because one of those games is against Tottenham away, and we haven't beaten Tottenham away for years. We've also got to play Manchester United at home. We've got to play Liverpool at home. And we've got to play Chelsea away. And our record against the traditional top four this season is absolutely diabolical. We haven't taken a single point off any of them. So why everyone thinks we're suddenly going to start picking up points against these teams now, I really don't know. Especially when you consider we've got no real strike force to talk about. And then in seventh, you got Wolves. They're on 40 points. If they win tonight in the game against Arsenal, they will go above Arsenal. They'll go above Arsenal and West Ham, and they're going to fifth. But if Arsenal win, they will go up to fifth. So it's a big game tonight and could have quite an impact on the race for fourth place. Tottenham last night lost to 1-0 away at Burnley. They're in eighth place on 39 points. And after the game, Antonio Conte was saying that he may not. It sounded like he was trying to say that he may not be around much longer. Sounds like it's finally dawned on him that job at Tottenham is too big for anyone. I mean, because let's face it, if he can't turn it around, then no one is. Either that or they need to make a huge investment, and it's whether Tottenham's owners want to do that. I doubt it, to be quite honest. Then Brighton are in ninth. They've got played 25 games. They're on 33 points. Southampton are in 10th, having played 25 games and 32 points. And so it goes on until we get down to 14th with Brentford. They're on 26, played 26 games, 24 points. Leeds are 15th, played 25, are on 23 points. Everton are on 16th. They played 23 games and 22 points. Newcastle are in 17th, played 24 games with 22 points. Burnley, Watford and Norwich make up the bottom three. Burnley are in 18th place. They played 23 games with 20 points. 19th for Watford. They played 25 games and got 18 points. And bottom of the pack, Norwich are in 20th. They played 25 games with 17 points. So when you look at it, there is 7 points separating the bottom 7 clubs. So anyone from about, I would say, 20th up to Brentford in 14th could realistically be in a relegation battle between now and the rest of the season. I think Villa are too far up to be dragged into it now. But you never know. Like I said, when we were talking about Chelsea, there's still a lot of games and a lot of points to be played for. So you never know what could happen. So the FA Premier League match day 27 fixtures, right? So these are the fixtures that are taking place this weekend. Friday night, tomorrow night, Southampton take on Norwich. That is an absolutely humongous game for Norwich. They need desperately to get something out of that game. The last two games they played, Manchester City and Liverpool, so you realistically couldn't have expected them to get anything out of those two games. But there's no reason why they couldn't go and get something from that game. But whether they will or not is another matter entirely. Then on Saturday, the lunchtime kickoff is Leeds against Tottenham at Ellen Road, and that's a huge game for both sides. Both ends of the table. Leeds need the points to try and get themselves out of relegation trouble, and Tottenham need to win the game desperately to sort of get themselves back in the top four race. Brentford against Newcastle, that's another massive game down near the bottom of the table. Then Brighton against Aston Villa. Crystal Palace against Burnley, another big game down the bottom end of the table. And Manchester United against Watford. And both teams need the points desperately at both ends of the table. Man United need it for their push for top four, and Watford need it in order to avoid to try and help them climb out of relegation trouble. Then at 5:30, Everton entertain Manchester City at Goodison Park, and you have to be honest and say that that's going to be a very difficult evening for Everton. And then Sunday, the only game on Sunday is a 2:00 kickoff between West Ham United and Wolves. It only kick off in the Premier League, but there's also the League Cup final on Sunday, and that should be an interesting game. And hold on a sec, I just want to check something. So I won't be a second, guys. I just need to check something. Yeah, so on Sunday, we've got the League Cup final between Chelsea and Liverpool. That should be a really, really good game. So, yeah, it should be interesting. I think Liverpool will win the game, to be honest, but you never know. Right. And there's a chat here from Emery Haney. I really don't know what that means, my friend. If you want to explain what you mean by that comment, I'll be happy to try and talk to you about it. But vum.ong doesn't make any sense to me, I'm afraid. Sorry, mate. But anyway, let's move on. So the current form in Premier League, Southampton against Norwich City, the Friday night game. And their last 5 home games, Southampton have drawn 1-1 with Brighton. They drew 1-1 with Tottenham. They've beaten Brentford 4-1. They've drawn 1-1 with Manchester City and won 2-0 at home to Everton. Their leading goal scorer this season is Armando Broja. He scored 8 goals from 16 starts and 9 substitute appearances. I think he's a fantastic prospect. I really do. He's currently on loan at Southampton from Chelsea, and I think he's got a big future ahead of him, and I really like him. I really do. Their current league position, they're sat 10th in the table, and they're taking on Norwich at the weekend. Norwich's last 5 away games, they've lost 3-0 at Tottenham, 3-0 at Crystal Palace, 2-0 at West Ham. They won 3-0 at Watford and lost 3-1 at Liverpool. Timo Pukki is their leading scorer. He's scored 6 goals from 24 starts and 3 substitute appearances, and they're currently sitting 20th in the Premier League table. So I do think there's been an improvement at Norwich in recent weeks, but it's been difficult. It's been a bit difficult for them the last 2 weeks because they played the two best sides in the league. So it's difficult to say, really. But later I'll tell you my prediction for that game. Then Leeds against Tottenham. Leeds, their last 5 home games, they've lost 4-1 at home to Arsenal. They had a game with Aston Villa postponed. Then they've beaten Burnley 3-1. They lost 1-0 at home to Newcastle and 4-2 to Manchester United. Their leading goal scorer is Rafinha, who scored 9 goals from 23 games. And they're currently sitting 15th in the table. I've heard a lot of talk that Arsenal are interested in Rafinha. I don't know how true that is, but he looks a good player, but I don't know. I mean, I've heard he's got a really, really extortionate release clause that if Leeds end up getting relegated, that Arsenal could get him for a cut price deal. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Tottenham's last 5 away games, they drew 1-1 with Southampton. They won 1-0 at Watford. They won 3-2 at Leicester City. They lost 2-0 at Chelsea, won 3-2 at Manchester City. Their leading goal scorer is Harry Kane, who scored 17 goals this season so far in 31 appearances and 31 starts and 3 substitute appearances. And they're currently sat in 8th position in the league. Move on to the next games. Brentford against Newcastle. And Brentford, in their last 5 home league games, they've lost 1-0 to Manchester City. They lost 2-1 at Aston Villa. Lost 3-1 to Manchester United. Lost 2-1 against Wolves. And drew 0-0 with Crystal Palace. Their leading goal scorer so far this season is Ivan Toney. He's scored 8 goals from 23 starts and 2 substitute appearances. And they're currently set 14th in the table. Newcastle, on the other hand, in their last 5 away games, they've lost 2-0 at Arsenal, 4-0 at Leicester. They lost 3-1 at Liverpool. Won 1-0 at Leeds and drew 1-1 with West Ham. Their leading goal scorer is Callum Wilson, who scored 6 goals from 15 appearances, and they're currently sitting 17th in the table. So they're in the midst of a massive relegation battle because if they go down, they'll be the richest club ever to play in the second tier of English football. It'll be absolute madness. It really will. But we'll see. And no club's too big to go down, and nor should it be. But we'll see. Next game is Brighton and Hove Albion against Aston Villa. Brighton, in their last 5 home games, had a game against Tottenham postponed. They lost 1-0 against Wolves. They won 2-0 against Brentford. Drew 1-1 with Crystal Palace, drew 1-1 with Chelsea, lost 3-0 with Burnley. Their leading goal scorer is Neil Maupay, who scored 9 goals from 25 starts, and they're currently sat in 9th position in the Premier League. Villa, on the other hand, in their last 5 away games, they lost 1-0 at Liverpool. They won 2-0 at Norwich. They had a game at Leeds postponed, and then they lost 2-1 at Brentford, won 1-0 at Everton, and lost 1-0. Hey, that doesn't make sense. They can't lose 1-0 against themselves. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, forget about that. Their leading goal scorer is Ollie Watkins. They've scored 5 goals from 22 games. and their current league position is 13 in the Premier League. And I thought I'd checked all that stuff, but obviously I didn't check it well enough. So sorry about that, guys. Next game, Crystal Palace against Burnley. Crystal Palace, in their last 5 home games, they've drawn 2-2 with Southampton. They won 3-0 against Norwich. They lost 3-2 against West Ham, lost 3-1 against Liverpool, and lost 1-0 against Chelsea. Their leading goal scorer so far this season is Conor Gallagher. He scored 7 goals in 21 starts, and they're currently sitting 11th in the Premier League Premier League table. Burnley, and their last 5 away games, they lost 1-0 at Newcastle United. They lost 3-1 against Manchester United. Lost 3-1 against Leeds United, drew 0-0 with Arsenal, and won 3-0 at Burnley. Their leading goal scorer so far this season is Jay Rodriguez. He scored 6 goals in 9 starts and 13 substitute appearances, and they're currently sitting 18th in the Premier League. So yeah, Burnley have had a bit of upturning form of late. I think really it's coincided with the new striker they got, the Weghorst or whatever his name is. And I heard Sean Dyche talking about him the other day, and he was singing his praises, and he was saying he's the best player that he's ever had the pleasure to coach. So that's big praise, I have to say, really is. Next game, Manchester United against Watford. Manchester United, in their last 5 home games, they've won 1-0 against Crystal Palace. Hold on a sec, let me put that on. I forgot to do that earlier. Right, yeah, so they won 1-0 against Crystal Palace, won 3-1 against Burnley, lost 1-0 against Wolves, won 1-0 against West Ham, and won 2-0 against Brighton and Hove Albion. Their leading goal scorer this season, no surprises there, is Cristiano Ronaldo. He scored 15 goals in 25 starts and 3 substitute appearances. They're currently sat in 4th place, and personally speaking, I think that's where they're going to end up. Watford, in their last 5 away games, they've lost 2-1 at Brentford, drew 1-1 with Newcastle, drew 0-0 with Burnley, lost 1-0 against West Ham, and they won 1-0 against Aston Villa. So it looks like they've stabilised their defence of late. They're not really conceding that many, but also they're not scoring many. Their leading goal scorer this season is Emmanuel Dennis. He scored 9 goals in 25 starts and 3 substitute appearances, and they're currently sitting 19th in the Premier League. So, yeah, I can't really see anything other than Man United winning this game. It might be tight just because of the way that Watford have tightened things up at the back, or it looks like they have anyway, but I think United will win. But it won't be like an absolute spanking. But having said that, you'll probably see United go and score 5 or 6, knowing how accurate my predictions are. Everton against Manchester City. Right. So, in Everton's last 5 games, they've lost 4-1 at home to Liverpool. They beat Arsenal 2-1. They lost 3-2 against Brighton. They lost 1-0 against Aston Villa, and they beat Leeds 3-0. Now, so far this season, their leading goal scorer is Andros Townsend. He's scored 7 goals from 23 appearances, and they're sitting currently in 16th place in the Premier League, and I'm sorry, but that's not acceptable for a club the size of Everton. It really isn't, and they're in dire trouble, in my opinion. I'm not convinced that Frank Lampard was the right man for the job, but any manager going in there at the moment would have a difficult job on his hands, particularly with the issues that there are at that club with the board and whatnot. It's a bit similar to Arsenal in some respects, I think, but hopefully he'll be able to sort it out. Manchester City, on the other hand, what can you say about this club? They're just unbelievable. They're relentless, aren't they? They won 4-0 away at Newcastle, 1-0 at Brentford, 2-1 at Arsenal, drew 1-1 with Southampton, and won 4-0 at Norwich. Their leading goal scorer this season is Riyad Mahrez. He scored 18 goals from 30 starts, and they're currently sat in first position in the Premier League. West Ham against Wolves. West Ham, in their last 5 home games, they've lost 3-2 at home to Southampton. They won 2-0 against Norwich, lost 3-2 to Leeds, won 1-0 against Watford, and drew 1-1 with Newcastle. Their leading goal scorer this season, I was quite surprised when I saw this. I thought it was going to be Mikel Arteta, but it's not. It's Jared Bowen. He scored 12 goals from 34 starts, and they're currently sat in 5th in the Premier League. I just find it a miracle that they're still in 5th, given the poor form they've had of late, because they haven't been in great form recently, but they'll be looking to put things right at the weekend. Wolves, on the other hand, their last 5 away games have seen them lose 1-0 at Manchester City. They won 1-0 away at Brighton. They won 1-0 at Manchester United, 2-1 at Brentford, and 2-0 at Tottenham. So their away form is really good, and Arsenal needs to be really careful because they're on a good reign of form. They've only conceded 2 goals in their last 5 away games, so it's not going to be an easy task. And given the trouble that Arsenal have in creating and taking chances, I think this could be a really difficult game for Arsenal. Wolves' leading goal scorer, Daniel Podence, he scored 5 goals from 13 starts and 8 substitute appearances, and they're currently sat in 7th place in the Premier League. So if we move on now and we go and look at the Warren Team Talk predictions game for match day 27, I'm going to give you now my predictions for the games that are taking place this weekend. And Taib Hussain is there, and he says, "Hi Warren, hi Del Boy." Hi Taib, how you doing, mate? I hope you're all right. I hope you're having a good day. Thanks for coming and joining in. I really do appreciate it, mate. So here's my predictions for the weekend. And everyone else, please make sure you put your predictions for the games in the comment section. That would be great. I'd love to hear that. And there is a predictions game. I should remind people of this if you want to get involved. Every week I do this, and there is a predictions game. It's been running since match day 3, and with this game it works a bit similar to Super 6 on Sky Sports. Basically what happens, you get points for how accurate your predictions are. So for example, if you predict the right score and right result, i.e. that Arsenal going to beat Tottenham 2-0 and they do win 2-0, you get 5 points for that. If you predict that Norwich and Southampton are going to draw 2-2 and they draw 1-1, you get 2 points for that. because you got the result right, but the score was slightly off key. And then if you predict that Brentford would win 1-0 against Newcastle United and Newcastle win by 1-0, you don't get any points for that. So, and if you say, let's say, dare say you say that Tottenham are going to win by 3-2 against Leeds, and it ends up being 2-1, then you would have got the result right and the margin of victory right, but not exactly the right score. So in that case, you'd only get 1 point. There's more information about that on the Warren's Team Talk Facebook page. If you're interested, click on the link for that and go and find out more. And if you want to participate in the game, then you're more than welcome. And Taib's in the chat. He's saying Conte will leave Spurs, Warren. It's looking increasingly likely. Yeah, get him in Arsenal then. We'll have him. I'll take him in a bloody heartbeat, mate. I think he's a decent manager. And he's not going to damage his reputation by letting that club mess him about. He's not. And there was always the danger that when they appointed him that this wouldn't happen if they didn't give him what he wanted. And it looks like that's what's going to happen. Anyway, so my predictions for this weekend's games, I'm going Southampton against Norwich to be a 1-1 draw. Leeds against Tottenham, I'm going for Spurs to win that by 2-1. Brentford against Newcastle, I'm going Brentford to lose by 1-0. Brighton against Aston Villa, I'm going for a 1-1 draw. And I've got a sneaking feeling, though, that if Tottenham lose that game against Leeds, I think Conte will resign. I really do. And Crystal Palace against Burnley, I think Burnley will win by 2-1 at Selhurst Park. Manchester United against Watford, I think United will win by 3-1. Everton against Man City. Sorry, James, I think Manchester City are going to turn you over fairly comfortably, to be honest. So sorry about that. And I think they'll win by 3-0. And then finally, West Ham against Wolves. I think Wolves will win that by 2-1. So that's my predictions for the weekend's matches. Don't forget, there's the petition to stop Mikel Arteta being given a new 3-year contract. Please make sure you go and check that out. If you don't want him getting a new contract, it'll only take a couple of minutes of your time. Click on the link. It's free. And it doesn't require you or obligate you to do anything. You just need to put your name on it. Or not put your name, just like something else or something. But yeah, just make sure that a name gets put on it. Because we want to put pressure on the club. We're not going to stop them destroying our club by just sitting there and complaining. We need to take action. So there you go. I just want to big up the GoonerClaude Trust. I do this every single time I do the video, and I'm going to keep doing it as well. The GoonerClaude Trust provides opportunities for disadvantaged kids to be able to attend football matches at the Emirates Stadium in the best seats in the house. And so, yeah, make sure you go and click on the link in the video description. Find out more about what they do, because it's an excellent charity and well worth supporting. And then also check out some of these other YouTube channels. So you've got the Old School Gunner, Arsenal Alex, Drawn by Dre, the Aussie Gooner, Diesel Arsenal, and Del Boy Gunner TV. All these channels are absolutely superb. I absolutely love all of them. Yeah, so please give them some support. Click on the links in the video description and give them a sub. Put likes on their videos, share their content around, and all that stuff. That would be absolutely amazing. So I just want to thank everyone who's been in the chat today, especially to Taib. He's always here. I can always rely on him turning up. He's a top man, and I love him to bits. He's absolutely superb, an absolute top man. I love his humour. I just think he's a top man. I really do. Emery Honey, I don't know quite what that message meant, but anyway, never mind. And obviously, Del Boy Gunner TV, top man, and he's got a fantastic channel. Anyway, so thanks everyone for watching. I really do appreciate it. It's Thursday today. I'll be back again on Saturday with the Matchday Centre. The Matchday live show. That will be starting this week at 2:45. And we do the usual warm-up activities, looking at the lineups, formations, and all that from all of the games from the 3:00 kickoffs. Then we'll be like watching all the action as it unfolds and keeping you up to date with what's going on across all those games, not only in the Premier League but in all the other 3 p.m. kickoffs up and down the country. So all the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the English Football League, the Premier League, the Scottish League, all that carry on. It's usually wild. So, yeah, don't miss out because it's fantastic. So I've sent the information about that show to YouTube already. It's already booked in. So make sure you come and join me for that. I'm sure you won't be disappointed. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. As I say, I hope you have a great rest of the day. Please take care and look after yourselves and all your family and loved ones. And let's hope someone sees sense in Russia and they pull back their forces, because that's horrific. And talking of that, UEFA have confirmed as well that the Champions League final is going to be moved from St. Petersburg because of the situation between Russia and Ukraine. And so I think they've made the right decision. I think we need to do everything we can to support the Ukrainian people, in my personal opinion. It's absolutely disgusting. But anyway, enough of that. Have a great rest of your day, guys. And thanks very much for watching. And I look forward to seeing you all again really soon. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.